everybody. How's it going? Hello, my good people. It's Tuesday night. Mic's on. I think things are fine. I hope you're fine. I mean, you're fine, but I hope you're fine, you know? Better than fine, even. Yo, Mary. Yo, Myra. Yo, Myra Cohn. Yo, Quilt Nerds. You know, my tag for Instagram and Twitch and everything is Yo Mary Fons, because it's like, Yo Mary Fons. Like, everybody always said it to me, you know? I don't know why. I mean, I don't know why. And so it's that way, you know? It's like Fonzie. Some people call me Fonzie, but I don't know. Yeah, I guess some people did. But for the thing that has really stuck in my life is Yo Mary Fons. So it also, if I speak Spanish, which I speak a little bit, like a little. Yo Mary Fons is like, I am Mary Fons. So it's a very self-possessed kind of thing, I guess. So it's Tuesday, and it's time for the show. And if you've never been here before, or if you're seeing this on YouTube because I don't know, the algorithm actually worked, you know, and you're like, what is this? I'll tell you what it is. Maybe you're into quilts. Maybe you make them. Maybe you are curious about them. Maybe you were looking for some sort of tutorial on how to make a quilt coat, some sort of jacket or pair of pants out of a vintage quilt that you're like poised. You're like poised on the edge of it, ready to cut it up, and you're like, should I? Let me make sure that I am going to do this right. And so you go on the internet and you go on YouTube and you search for quilt coat, you know, vintage quilt clothes, how to pattern, whatever. And then you find this and you're like, this isn't what I was looking for. But who is this? And it's me. It's Mary. And I'm here to tell you that you shouldn't do it. You should wait. You should watch this show and then maybe watch another episode, you know, of the recording, of the live show. This is live right now, but if you're watching it on YouTube, it's a recording of a show that happened before the moment that you're in. And but you may watch like an episode or two, and you might not do it. You might think again. For the people who do watch this show, I'm very excited to tell you that I have begun my last pass on that video about quilts and fashion. That's why I like jumped off with this particular intro. It's pretty much done. It really is. And like, since you saw it, it has come so far. It's ready. Like it's ready now. It's not perfect. I'm not a video, you know, production expert, but I'm proud of it and it's ready. And I just can't wait for you to see it. I mean, I think, like, I'm waiting for one person. I emailed a person whose quilt appears in the video for permission, but I haven't heard from her, and I emailed her on Sunday. So if I don't hear from her, like, tomorrow, I think I'll just replace her quilt. So I'm not waiting on that, because I really want to drop this thing. It's about 23 minutes or so, which is good. And I'm nervous, y'all. I mean, look, Sewing Karen, Mother Nature. Oh, I gotta say hi to everybody. Mother Nature, a launch party. Well, it's funny you mention that. Because, you know, when I do that, it's because I'm tucking my feet under myself on this little stool bench thing that I'm sitting on. I wonder if you've wondered about that. Maybe it's obvious because I'm like, but I think I do that a lot, and I don't know, maybe I should tell you what's happening. A launch party is interesting that you mentioned because, thanks, Dana. I mean, because I'm adding shows. The schedule is completely changed. Oh, I mean, it's the same as it's gonna. There's always 3 shows a week. But I'm adding shows because you know what? One of the announcements, there's so many. Look, this is the part of the show where I do this. Because I'm so, no, don't do that. Oh, that's the highlighter. Look, see? That's highlighted. That's why it doesn't show up. That's so crazy. But that's my... That's my content plan. And on the top of the content plan announcements is to announce the giveaway. But wait, I'm getting ahead of myself. There's so much to say tonight. There's great content. I have a very fun show for you tonight. Very fun. But you're watching the show on TV because of your Chromecast? Susan, I love Chromecast. The most twitchy thing that I do, aside from hosting a show on the network or on the platform, whatever, is I play Beat Saber, and I will cast the game that I play so that Eric, who, I mean, he doesn't watch me, but I'm like, Eric, will you watch me play Beat Saber while you're doing your thing? And he's like, yeah, honey, I love you so much. Beat some saves. And so I'll be on the VR, like beating my saves, and we'll cast it to the TV so he can see me, like, oh, no. And it's so classic. It's like I'm a little kid, like, Mom, I'm gonna jump off the board of the pool. Like, watch me. And Mom's like, yes, honey, I'm watching. It's like, did you see me? And it's like, yes, you were great. It's pretty much the same vibe around here when I beat saves. But the Chromecast is amazing. It's amazing. So I gotta say hi to everybody, but there's so much to do. So let me just, I gotta gather my thoughts, because I don't know. It's like I have a lot of energy, and then it all gets to be focused, right, in this show, which is one of the reasons that I like doing it. And I was thinking the other day, I tell you, there's these live streamers that I love to watch. I never miss a show, and if I miss a live, I go watch it online, and just sort of part of my life, But there's this one that I just can't watch her. She does kind of the same sort of content that I like, but it doesn't work for me. And a lot of people like her, but it just doesn't do it for me. And so I was thinking, because I was so excited to turn on the microphone and the camera and do this. And I have so much to tell you. And I'm so excited about stuff. And I thought, maybe I'm too excited for some people. Maybe, and that's okay. It is, actually. It's okay. I understand that might be the case. But I have to say, even if you don't like it, it's sincere. It's not an act. I don't know what to do with all my energy sometimes. And a lot of times I don't put it in the place where it ought to be. I get excited about ideas and things when maybe I should focus more of that energy on people or, tasks. But I am excited, and I do sincerely love, you. Like, when I say that, I'm not like when I turn off the camera, it's the same. It's this, I'm tired, but it's the same vibe. And so it's not an act. And I think that you have to find your people, The quilt world is so big. There's so many people, millions of quilt makers in America today. And that's so wonderful, because there are so many of us. It means that there are all sorts of people that you can follow or be like part of that tribe, if you will, right? I mean, there's Tula people, and there's Nancy Crowe people, and there are Pat Sloan people, and Jenny Doan people, and Joe Cunningham people, and all of these different people, and that's awesome. And I hope. I mean, I love my people, right? And any person who has any kind of following, whatever. They're amazing. That's cool. That's cool. They have their vibe. But if you're not into my that's okay. That's okay. But I do want you to know that I'm not faking you out. I am what I am. So you're like, I don't like it, but at least she's honest. So hey, Robin subscribed with Prime. That is amazing. You've subscribed for 2 months. You're on a 2-month streak. Robin, I appreciate you. I really appreciate you. To all my subscribers, I appreciate you. And one of the things I can knock off my list right here is that if you're a tier 2 sub, I need to send you a postcard. If you subscribe at the tier 2 level, $9.99 a month, which is amazing. You have a lot of perks, and they're all going to be listed officially for you very soon. It's task 3 of the most important 5 tasks I have. But one of the things that you get is a vintage quilt postcard from me. And so if you are one of those people, will you please email me your address? Twitch@maryfons.com. That's Twitch@maryfons.com, because I want to send you a postcard. And so, yes, okay, I can cross that off my list. Okay, good. And the giveaway, but I have to go back to that. So let me say hi to some people. Karen, I'm into your vibe too. This whole thing, this little nerdery, the nerdery, yeah, like an aviary, for birds, but we're nerds. Birds, nerds. There's so many things. There's so many. Thank you. Yes. all of you. There's so many things that happen in this show. We're just very quick, with these like alliterations or these, little metaphors, analogies, onomatopoeia, whatever. We're nerds after all. And so somebody said to me, it was Raffle Waffle. We were talking about moderators because she stepped up, it was fantastic. Because I've got a couple people stepping up to like do like a Zoom call, to figure out how to mod, in the chat. And two things happened. One, she signed off with "Peace be with you," Piece. If you're not a quilt maker, you may not know. We piece patchwork. That's what we do. We piece things together, Heck, the whole like expression, piece something together. We're going to piece this together. Probably came from us because we piece patchwork together. And she signed off, "Peace be with you." And I was like, damn, that is really good. So peace be with you. Chef's kiss. I mean, it's really good. And the other thing is, mid email back to her, I was like, "This is great, Raffle Waffle. I'm so happy you're going to be a hall monitor." So moderators you're not moderators in Quilt Nerd. You're hall monitors. Because obviously, I was going to say homeroom teacher, but that wasn't it. Hall monitor, So for now, our moderator, our hall monitor is Estelle Witherspoon. So if you use too many capital letters or you use a word that's on the no list or something like that, Estelle Witherspoon will be the one to put the smack down. She does not like Molly. She's got Molly's number. So, but I will approve things hopefully quickly if Estelle flags you. I will do my best. So there's more to say about the giveaway, more to say about the schedule. Everything's happening, but I'm gonna say hi to people before it gets too crazy. Hey, Jessica, Susan R. Michael, good Tuesday to you, my friend. Bip, hello to you, and Dana, and Robin's Nest. It's great to see you. Padma, hello. I just emailed you back. Howdy to Oklahoma Proud. Myra's here. NDH. Hello, nerds. Indeed. Rose Pelfrey. Rose, it's so good to see you. We're going to see a Rose later, actually. Interesting. So, Hani, I'm so glad you're here. And Sonia, I'm so glad you're here. And Ivy Kadivi, so glad you're here. And Kay, I'm so glad you're here. And I know that Suhani used to be watching in YouTube land. And a couple weeks ago now, made the executive decision. I won't keep repeating it every time, but since it's fairly new and we were doing the multi-stream thing on YouTube for a few weeks. And, it was we were crossing the streams in a way that I didn't think was beneficial to the show, the community, the vibe. So we just do it on Twitch now. The show is on one network live, but then always the reruns. Reruns? I don't know if it's really a rerun, but the recordings will be on YouTube, on my YouTube channel for all time. I like that. So Sohani, thank you for coming over to the good guy team, the A team. Hey Holmes, peace be with you. You see? You're way ahead of me. Hey Sue, it's good to have you here. Rhonda Kernoodle, I love to see you here. Been thinking about iris quilts. Yeah, those were really nice, weren't they? What are we gonna see tonight? Yeah, there's lots to see. Oh my God. Tonight is like, it's not a new format, but it's a new, there's a new concept. It's a concept album. You'll see. You'll love it. It's great. Hey, Cheyenne and Little Bird Stitch. Molly, you're here. I'm watching you. I'm watching out for Estelle. I've told her, chill, Estelle, chill. Hey, Jan. It's your first time joining live. You usually watch the recordings. I'll bet you already have welcome baskets in the chat because people are good like that. But if not, I'm sending you a welcome basket in the chat, okay? Welcome to the chat, or welcome to the live show. I'm glad you're here. The recordings are great, but it's pretty fun to be in the live room. Dee Dee's here. Hello. Feodor, it's so good. You're driving home and we're your company? I love that. I love driving home to like a live podcast or a live thing. It's the best. I hope whatever you are driving home from went well today. Prairie Susie, it's so good to see you. God, everybody's here. Ivy Kadivi just subscribed with Twitch Prime. Thanks, Ivy. Man, this is great. Look at those welcome baskets. Like I even had to say anything, SJ, oh brother. SJ Pepper. Here we go. You're an imp. You're a little imp. You're the best. Jessica said, welcome to everybody. Your patchwork souvenirs. Oh my God. Sonia got the patchwork souvenirs. A book about the Chicago World's Fair. Are you just like completely engrossed? It's so great. Those quilts are so great. Mary Kay Waldvogel and Barbara Brackman. I mean, listen, I'll just say it. It's no secret. Why does it have to be a secret? I even told Mary Kay Waldvogel, although I shouldn't probably talk about this too much because, you know, you should just do a thing instead of talk about a thing. But I told her, I was like, Quilt Folk, I mean, we would republish that book because that book is so great. It's so out of print. I mean, it's like out of print. But all those wonderful quilts, I'm sure I've said this like 5 times, but you know, all those quilts in there, they're so amazing. And the book is great. I am not like throwing shade on the book, but like the pictures they're good, but they could be even better, right? They could be like super, super high res. And there were more quilts that have been found since then. This was the Sears Contest, right? In 1933, this amazing contest where in the Great Depression, 25,000 quilts came to the Sears offices all across the country to try to win a prize in this quilt contest. And I mean, it was just a terrible time in America, but these quilt makers and their families, like they put quilts together and they were so weird and wonderful. And this great book, Patchwork Souvenirs, about all of that, written by 2 of the most, you know, lauded, respected quilt historians in the game, been in the game for a minute, they wrote it. And so I just want to like publish it again. You know, with all the extra time I have. Kitty Hannah and Mother Nature. I'm so glad you're here. Mother Nature loves that book. Everybody loves that book. Molly loves that book. Everybody loves it. The Quilt Nerd Instagram, Yo Quilt Nerd. Follow it, post to it, be a part of it. I also need to be a part of it. God, for heaven's sakes. Okay, hang on. Oh, hang on. How can I help with that? Don't give me a list yet, but I will. And Dana is waiting for her copy to arrive. Excellent. Nerdy Janice. Janice, I love your nerdery. Thank you for being here. It's great. Kitty finished her whole cloth quilt today. Just a crib quilt, but you love the process. Kitty, are you going to make a bigger one now? Is there a whole cloth quilt tonight? There could be. I know of one that I could show you. That's wonderful. That's interesting. If you love the process, you're probably going to make another one. Peace be with you. Folk guitar, you people, who are you people? I gotta hurry up. Hey Sue, and Kristen. You missed the last 2 videos, but caught up today. Sorry for your loss of your friend Scott. You know what? Thanks for saying that. I've been thinking about him. I had a great talk with somebody all about that, and yeah, it was right on time. It was right. It was the day after the Thursday show, and yeah. I mean, I wish everybody could have people to talk to, you know, like that when things like that happen. Like you all. Seriously, that was cool that day. And then, you know, talking to this my therapist. Let's just be, I mean, why beat around the bush? She's amazing, and it was a great conversation about all that. Wait a minute, Molly, I ate a tub of Trader Joe's toffee. Padma, you should have told me beforehand. I would have joined you. Kristen, SJ Peppers, I know. It's just hilarious. You people are very funny. Okay, I've got so many things to share. I'm gonna speed up a little bit. Show me the t-shirt. Okay, the Iowa Theater. Oh no, I cut my head off tonight. The Iowa Theater. I don't usually wear black because the green screen acts strangely, but it seems to be doing okay. The Iowa Theater, I will tell you about a little bit later. See, I said I was gonna go for this. There's the Chromecast. Okay, Susan's here. Court Quilts, the fashion piece. Yes, it's gonna happen. It's very close. Hey, Robin, you received your Quilt Folk today. It's so nice seeing familiar faces, people you know, you've met, and have been taught by. It's awesome. It's a great issue. Don't go change it. I'm gonna try not to. Robin, I think I said thank you for subscribing. If I didn't, I didn't say that. I said it to Ivy Godivi. Thank you for subscribing for 2 months. You're on a 2-month streak. I appreciate you. Thank you so much. Yeah. Oh, okay. See, that's why you're awesome. Sometimes you have to find your people, and sometimes you have to wait for Mary Twitch to make a Twitch channel and show you who your people are. Indeed. I don't know, man. I love this whole thing. Melanie Ham. I need to look at that person. Melanie Ham. Rest in peace. Interesting. Yep, Iowa Theater. Okay, good. You're sharing about what the Iowa Theater is. I got a motor. I gotta go. Bonnie Kane, it's good to see you. So I'm really speeding by now because I want to make sure we get to some real good stuff. I mean, this is good stuff too. But hey, Val. Great, Val is here. And I think Jill, some nerd people. Oh my god. As I do this more, you do have a stealth persecution, but it's not paranoia, Molly. Hey, J-Sock. I mean, I think the more I do this, I will get, better at like sort of blending the opening with the hellos, but maybe not. I don't know. There's no rules. I just know from doing things in front of people, shows and things like live shows, you gotta feel the room, but I can't feel the room at all. I can see who's here, but I can't read their body language because you don't have bodies, any of you. For me, you're just disembodied. This doesn't sound good, but anyway. Quilt Nerd Deb is an Okie as well. Susan R. Michael, okay, proud. Quilt Nerd Deb, you're all Oklahomans. Hey, Jan, I'm so glad. Yes, Jan, you're here. Hey, Quilter R. Wells, longtime fan, first time live. I'm sure you've already had welcome baskets in the chat for you, Quilter R. Wells, but I'm going to send you one as well. I'm so glad that you're here. Everybody's glad that you're here. We love a new person. We love our new people. No one here is uncool. Let's see. Rose Pelfrey. Okay. I think I got it. I don't want to miss anybody because it's just the worst. All right. I think I got it now. Okay. All right. So I probably missed some really good stuff, but hey, Rod, when am I gonna wear my Mary Minnelli hat? What do I have? That I could? I found I went to go see Liza on Broadway years ago. I was very ill. I should never have made the trip. But I did with my friend Mark, who now has a podcast about Madonna that's got 100,000 listeners or something. It's amazing. I haven't talked to him in a really long time. He knew Scott too, actually, so there's a very good reason to reach out to him. But we went to see Liza on Broadway once, and I bought a t-shirt or something, of course. And so the other day I came across the plastic bag, from the merch counter. I actually think it's over there. But so I could wear it on my head, because I don't think I have that hat anymore. Anyway, so the Liza Minnelli thing is a story for another day. But we're going to help you subscribe through Prime. Thanks for gifting a sub to Kelly. Thank you so much. Val gifted a sub to Kelly Naher, and I appreciate that. That's awesome. I love the gift subs. They're my favorite thing. Hey, Word and Bird Nerd. Halt and Catch Fire. You know what? Quickly, I wanted to say yesterday or the other day, speaking of Halt and Catch Fire, the actress in that, Mackenzie something, has anyone seen, not that we need to do a whole, we don't have to go off on a tangent. I don't know. All I want to do is hang out with you. So why not? But have you seen Station 11? Have you watched the Station 11? That's a show. I watched it all. Oh, Myra? Are you hashtagging Vogue? I think it's called All I Want to Do Is Listen to Madonna. My mom heard it. She knows Mark and is friends with Mark too. And I haven't heard it yet. I got to listen to it. I think it's called All I Want to Do Is Listen to Madonna. Thank you, Dee Marie. Hey, Cotton and Bourbon. Audrey, you, my dear, there's a quilt of yours that I would like to have in my video about quilts and fashion. So the two people that I have left to get permission from are you and actually the other person I switched out already. My friend Heather said yes. My friend Jonathan said yes. So expect an email by the stroke of midnight. And you can say no, you're not on the spot. Don't worry. Maybe I just doxed you by saying your name, but but it's fine. And you, no, I didn't, because your cotton and bourbon is like a thing. But anyway, I'll send you the link to the video so you can see it, and you let me know, But there's a quilt of yours that looks so great in this one part, and I'd love to use it, but it's okay if you don't want me to. So yeah, Station 11 is really good. Yeah, SJ, you read the book Station 11 when it was the big read. When was it the big read? I don't remember. I'm not in the loop for the, the hot like novels out, I'm like still wanting to read, the Odyssey, right? Oh, good. All I want to do is talk about Madonna. That's what it is. Good. You enjoyed Station 11. Yeah, I did too. It's good. It's good. I recommend it. I kind of binged watched that this weekend, and it put me in a mood. But the girl that's in *Halt and Catch Fire* is in that. She's fantastic. Okay, so here's something to know. This is important. So I updated the schedule today on my Twitch channel. The best way to know when the show will be on is the Twitch channel page. So you go to twitch.tv/YoMaryFons and click on schedule, I think. It has the schedule. Now, it has happened a few times when the schedule looked really weird, and that was probably because I was doing time zone math badly. But I think I've figured out how to do it well. Serviceable. It's serviceable. So here's the deal. So I'm doing a giveaway for all my subscribers. We're about to hit 100 shows. Today is the 88th show. And 100 shows, it's amazing, I stream 3 times a week, sometimes 4. And so we've been at this, it'll be 6 months next month. And it's just been so much fun. And I do it, and it's possible, and it's happening because of you. And so giving back to you is very important to me. So we learned about this woman, Margaret Wood, on a few shows ago. An amazing artist, a fashion designer, just sort of this fabulous quilt maker person. And she is Native American, and there was an interview I read with her that was given by this woman who owns this online shop. She started it in like 2009, and it's called Beyond Buckskin, and you should go to it. I won't show the website every time. I will from time to time before the giveaway, but Beyond Buckskin just has these wonderful things. They're wonderful things, and they're all like moccasins and earrings, and the whole point of the site is to lift up and disseminate, and celebrate the work of these, I think, mostly young Native American fashion designers, and they're just amazing. They're amazing. And so $100 gift certificate to Beyond Buckskin will get you at least a good way to something really great. And it's just it's like a totally Quilt Nerd rabbit hole find, like where would we have found it if it wasn't for quilts? I don't know. I hope so, but I hadn't. And so the Beyond Buckskin $100 gift certificate will be given away to one lucky subscriber. And the idea is to do it on the 100th show, of course, and that means a hype train. Y'all, we are 94% on our way to a hype train. That means that if somebody subscribes or gifts a subscription or uses bits, which I still don't really know how they work, so don't do that. But we're 94%. If in the next 2 minutes and 46 seconds, someone does something, I think we'll have a hype train. I think that's amazing. That feels very good. Kelly, good. You're spending some bits. You cheered 100 bits. Oh, and we did it. That did it. Oh my God, I'm yelling. We did it. We got a hype train. Because Kelly threw bits in, and Myra too. Oh, I love Twitch. Every once in a while, it's like, it's a casino or like a video game. And it's so much fun, because it's not like we're going to lose thousands of dollars or, I don't know, be addicted to video games. I don't know. It's great. Yay! This is awesome. Highlight my message. Myra, you are highlighted, and I thank you so much. I'm sorry. Yeah, I'm a little giddy tonight. What is happening? I don't know. I don't know. A hype train is when a lot of people are showing their support for a channel. And I think sometimes if you're playing video games on Twitch, and not all the stuff that happens on Twitch is video games. I mean, obviously. But I think maybe on video games, if you do a hype train, like maybe you, like there's things that I see, like settings you can do, like plugins, and they're like, let your viewers take control of your game. And I'm like, that doesn't apply to me, nor do I think it's a good idea. I mean, they're like, let your audience, let your viewers, you know, like play upside down with your game or something. I'm like, oh God. But no matter what happens, it's really good because it means that you care, right? Really. So I updated the calendar because here's the thing. I've got to do a bunch of extra shows. If I want to have the 100th show and the giveaway happen at QuiltCon, which I do. So we did some math, or someone did some math the last time we joined together at Quilt Church. Yes. Peace be with you and with you. So the drawing, the giveaway drawing, I told you there was a lot of stuff tonight. There's a lot of stuff. The quilts are coming. I mean, they're behind me. One of them's behind me. Nancy Crowe is behind me. Nancy? Oh, God. So someone did the math, I think, and accurately said that the giveaway, the 100th show giveaway for $100 to be on Buckskin Boutique will happen on the 20th, right? Sunday, February 20th. That is correct, but only if I add some shows in between now and then. So I won't, you don't have to write this down because it's all on the Twitch channel page, but I want to just say, in case you'd like to know now or just have this in your mind, this week, nothing changes. We're here, going to be here on Thursday at 11 a.m. Central, Saturday night, 8 p.m. My favorite thing. Next week, the same three shows happen. Tuesday at 7 o'clock Central, Thursday 11 a.m. same, Saturday at 8 p.m. same. But next Friday is a Quilters Newsletter Friday because every other week we get together and we just on a Friday night and we hang out and we read an old issue of a great magazine, Quilters Newsletter. And on Thursday, I'll have a poll to see what year you want to look at, you know. I could do polls now. It's a big deal. So then, the next week, there's a bonus show. There's a bonus show on Monday. What? There's another hype train? Oh, 6%. We're at 6%. I can't believe there's another hype train even possible. I know. Isn't that cool? 77. I know. It's really exciting. One day we're going to have 100 viewers. It's really awesome. So Monday, the 7th, there's going to be a show in the evening, 7 o'clock. And you know what else? There's going to be a Valentine's Day special. That's the next Monday. So there's going to be Monday shows because if I don't do that, I'm going to have to do shows at the regular time during QuiltCon. And I want to, and I feel like it's possible because, oh yeah. Let the viewers play the siren effect. Yeah, that would be pretty good. Naflenser, thank you for subscribing. What's going on? Is this, hang on. Here's the thing. So the schedule will change a little bit the week of QuiltCon so I'll do a show on Monday that night. But if I'm going to try to do too much. That's what happens is that I try to do too much. And when I'm at QuiltCon, it's going to be a lot because of COVID. Like, I think it's going to be pretty stressful. I have to be realistic about that. That even if I am feeling great and things are going well, every year I sweat those lectures. I mean, oh my God, something inevitably doesn't feel right. And I'm like changing something literally until the time I go into the lecture hall. So I can't be too worried about, getting content together for the show. So I've changed the schedule around a little bit. I know, and the Sunday social is possible too. So who knows? But for now, the drawing will be on Sunday because that morning on the 20th, I'll give my last tour at 9:45. My flight to London isn't until 8:45 p.m. So I have this lovely stretch on Sunday after QuiltCon ends, long before Eric and I head back to London. I can chill in the hotel. Maybe I'll do the drawing from the jacuzzi. I won't. That would be extremely awkward, but it'll be perfect. It'll be perfect. Kelly, thank you so much for subscribing. I don't know that it... Yes. You subscribed, and I'm so glad. Thank you so much. And Kenny, fastidiousness. Oh, yeah, Kenny, hello, by the way. It's my fastidiousness that makes me an excellent lecturer. You know what? I love lecturing. It's like my favorite thing. Well, this is my favorite thing, but lecturing is like... It's so fun to give people my best, to deliver information that I think is very interesting. And this show is that, but it's with the lecture, you know, it's this very precise thing where I don't get like, you know, distracted by wanting to eat a chip. You know, there's no like crisp eating in the lecture hall, which maybe is a problem, but yeah. So thank you. I hope that people who are at QuiltCon will come to my lectures. Turn on my camera and walk around. You know, Bonnie, I thought, listen, the when I'm at QuiltCon, actually, this was part of what I was going to say, and then we can move on from this part, but it is possible that I will do something like that, right? Some sort of crazy live stream. Even if I do, and I'll say this again, but even if I add a show, like some wacky, like brief live stream, I mean, I can live stream from my phone onto Twitch. You know, I could be doing that now. So even if that happens, we're still going to do the drawing on the 20th. It's not going to be like, oh no, like what's the 100th show now? Like the drawing will happen on the 20th. So even if it's like technically like 102 or something like that, it's the celebration day. Mary Kate, lecturing puts me back on a stage, which is your comfort zone. Yes, it's true. It's true. It's true. It's true. It is my comfort zone. You know why, Mary Kate? Because I have deep social anxiety. It's deep. It's deep and crippling, and it's gotten worse as I've gotten older. And on a stage, and maybe this may make sense to people. It may not, but on a stage, it's very clear what our roles are. I am sharing with you, and you are learning, hopefully, or I am entertaining, and you are the audience, okay? We're equal, right? But it's very clear what our roles are. And this, to me, is a great comfort, because once those roles, once that line dissolves, I'm like, I mean, I'm just really bad. I'm really bad at it. So being on stage is super comforting, because it's just like, oh, well, this is very clear now. I can do this. I know how to do this, you know? So if anybody you know is like a performer and is also that way, that's maybe why, you know? Okay. So, I know my lines and my blocking, exactly. Yeah, it's very, very clear. Dee Dee. Well, it's funny that my next lecture will be about paint drying. It's actually going to be about how to schedule meetings to watch paint dry on Zoom. All right, so let's get into this content, man. Okay, giveaway, schedule, hall monitors, Estelle. This is great. This is it. We did it. I almost crossed off my thing with my lipstick. No, that's not the right thing. Okay. So I've got several. Let's talk about the quilt that's behind me. Every time that we do the show, we talk about a different quilt that is the background for the opening. This epic opening tonight. Oh my goodness. So so here we are. Here is the quilt. This is a quilt by Nancy Crowe. Let me move this thing. I'm gonna give something away here. This is a quilt by Nancy Crowe. I'll show you the whole thing. I pulled out this book today. Okay. This is a new acquisition for me. Look at this beast. This is really intense. That's one quilt. Yes, Molly. Yes. Now, Nancy Crowe is an enigma to me. Nancy Crowe is like obviously legendary. When I think about art quilts of the 1980s, like she's right there. She's extremely talented. She makes quilts that I love, a lot of them, like a lot. But some of them I leave me cold. I can say that. We can all say that, you know. And some of the quilts I've made leave me cold. I mean, whatever. But so I got this book because I want to know, Nancy. Tell me, Nancy, what secrets do you hold? You know. And oh yeah, well that's great. Oof. That's really, oh God, her early stuff. Well, let's see, 90. Yeah, see, this is the stuff I really like. Anyway, and so I got this book used. Hello eBay, hello Abe Books. You can sponsor me at any time or advertise anytime. So I got this to try to understand more about her. And so I pulled it off, well, it wasn't even on the shelf. I hadn't gotten that far. I took it from the table and was looking through it today in my old man chair. That's what I call my recliner, my brown recliner that I love, the old man chair. And was trying to find the angle, you know, because like, what do you say about Nancy Crowe in an hour? What do you say about her sort of, not off the cuff, but I mean, how do I talk about Nancy Crowe on Quilt Nerd? I mean, it's kind of a lot, you know. I mean, talking about Mountain Mist is kind of a lot. I mean, we do it, and I could talk about Nancy Crowe, but there's a lot to that. I mean, there's the whole Anna Williams angle of Nancy Crowe. Anna Williams was a genius artist that was making quilts in Louisiana for a long time, had huge influence on Nancy Crowe. Some people find that influence to be problematic because the quilts that Nancy Crowe, there are quilts that Nancy Crowe has made that are too Anna for some people, right? But I don't know enough about that to really comment on that. And then Nancy Crowe has been working for so long. It's like, no, you haven't missed it yet, Kristen. Kristen. I almost say Kirsten all the time. This quilt is called Constructions number 29, and it was made in 1999. So anyway, so I'm looking through this book, and I'm trying to figure out, like, what's my angle, you know? And then I'm like, and I just don't know. And I almost put the book down, but then I saw this, the quilt that you're looking at now. And I was like, well, that's the quilt we're going to use tonight. So it's not sideways. That's its orientation. And it is 49 by 60, 49 inches by 65 inches. It's 100% cotton. Hand dyed. Pretty groovy, right? Hang on, let me zoom in a little bit. Hold on. Yeah, hand dyed. Oh goodness, sorry. And fabrics are cut and machine pieced improvisationally by Nancy Crowe. Hand quilted by Marla Hadabow with pattern denoted by Nancy Crowe. So she, designed the quilting and then someone hand quilted it for her. So I don't know. There's a cohesion to this quilt that I love. And I mean, if Nancy Crowe heard me say that, she'd be like, oh, cohesion. Thank you so much. Because her stuff is really, it's special. It's special. But it's interesting. In a lot of these people, in a lot of the cases, like Michael James and Pauline Burbage too, I like their early stuff. Like, a lot. I prefer it to the stuff that came later. But anyway, I think a lot of people, if you talk to art quilters, it seems that Nancy's been teaching for a very long time, for decades. And I don't know if she still does, but she taught a lot. She has been an instructor for who knows how many quilt makers, art quilters and otherwise. And so I wonder if anybody has taken classes from her. Anybody? And start at the beginning. Who is Nancy Crowe? Okay, let me read you. Thanks, Bonnie, for mentioning that. Like, who is she? I'll just read the bio of her, okay? I apologize. I should have done that first. Nancy Crowe is widely acclaimed as the world's foremost artist making quilts today. This was published it's still true, but let's just see when this was published. Should have said so. Um, 2006. Okay. Her work has been instrumental in moving quilt making from traditional craft to art medium in its own right. Her quilts are in the permanent collection of world-class museums, including the Renwick Gallery, National Museum of American Art at the Smithsonian Institution, the Museum of Arts and Design, the American Folk Art Museum, and the Indianapolis Museum of Art. Her work has been included in almost every major exhibition of contemporary quilts over the past 30 years, from London to Auckland to Tokyo to Strasbourg to New York. Nancy Crowe is a fellow of the American Crafts Council, a recipient of the prestigious National Living Treasure Award, and an inductee into the Quilters Hall of Fame. As an advocate for quilt making as an art form, she originated Quilt National. Oh yeah, she started Quilt National. Quilt National is, it's another thing we got to talk about. It's on one of my notes documents from long ago. Quilt National is the show in the Dairy Barn in Ohio, right? Ohio. I know, I have a crush on that quilt too. It's well put. She does still teach, says Cotton and Bourbon. Yes, in Athens. Okay. Hard to get into her classes. I'm not surprised. Yes, the Dairy Barn. And you have friends that have taken the classes. Yep. Listen, if you go to her website, I'm sure that she has what classes she's going to offer, And yeah, signing up early is probably good. Even getting on the waiting list for next year. As an advocate for quilt making as an art form, she originated Quilt National, Quilt Surface Design Symposium, and the Art Quilt Network. I don't know any of this stuff, you guys. All of which have become acclaimed venues for those interested in contemporary quilts. Her previous books include Nancy Crowe, Quilts and Influences, and Improvisational Quilts. She maintains a large studio on her farm near Baltimore, Ohio. And for more information on Nancy Crowe, visit nancycrowe.com. Hillary Morrow Fletcher is blurbed, quoted here. She's the Quilt National Project Director. Hillary says, quote, "It's impossible to measure Nancy Crowe's impact on the evolution of today's innovative quilts. Her example and encouragement have nourished the creative spirits of countless artists." Yeah, 1000%. So this book is amazing. It's one of several on her, and wow. Eli Leon blurbs the book. There's a lot of blurbs. Wow. Eli Leon, who is the collector. This is spooky. Because Eli Leon is the person who collected all those quilts of Rosie Lee Tompkins, And we're going to look at a Rosie Lee Tompkins quilt later tonight. It's true. Eli Leon. Well, it's not that spooky. These people are in the quilt world. So it's not like, what? How could it be that a prominent quilt person would blurb a prominent quilt person's book? It's so bizarre. Eli Leon said, quote, "Nancy Crowe's symphonies in cloth defy gravity, confound expectations, and expand the realm of the possible." Unquote. Not bad. Hey, So Demented. Oh, So Demented has the tea. "There are no waiting lists. You basically have to stalk her website and act faster than anyone. Registration is also done by snail mail." Interesting. Cotton and Bourbon says Quilt National is held every 2 years and is to display the best new contemporary quilts. Quilts hanging there have not been displayed anywhere else before the exhibition. I have a file going on Quilt National because if you missed it the other day, I am telling you, if I make it rich, if I strike it rich, I want to have some sort of foundation that gives money to individuals or institutions like Quilt National to either help fund their websites so that they have more bandwidth to handle bigger files and just have more server space or whatever, or to give them money to photograph the quilts in their orbit, right, at high res and make them easily downloadable on their websites. Because this show, if you watch it, benefits so much from these really amazing images. And so often, they're just these amazing quilts that you're like, oh my God, I want to see it so bad. It's like this 300 by 300 pixel thumbnail. And there are reasons for this. One, it takes a lot of, it takes a lot of power and energy and server space and to upload huge files to your website. That's very true. And also, it's expensive to get really high quality photography, flat shots of quilts. I mean, you have to either put them on a board, it's a whole thing, and light them properly, or get a jib camera, like a boom mic, right? Almost like a camera to photograph a quilt from above. So it's a whole thing. It takes money and it takes time and professional photographers to do it. I think, so it's money and it's money, which is the problem most of all. But I think sometimes there are high-res versions of photographs of quilts, but they're not put on the website because there's a fear that like, oh, we don't want people reproducing these images without permission or something. And it's like, you know what? One person out of like hundreds is going to try to scam, I think, to actually print a book. Like a magazine can run an image. Like if you're Getty, you're not going to worry about paying a museum for an image, but you have a circulation of a zillion, If Quilt Nerd, I want to show the image on the show. Trust me, you can sue me. Have fun with that. It's just, there's no use in doing that. So in a way, it's like educational purposes should cover some of this. Anyway, I would love to do that. I would love to listen. The thing is, Audrey, is if I had some money, like I really think that's what I would do. Because it's so, like, who does that? I'm not like, who does that? But like, it's such a specific thing that I don't know that people might really think of, but I deal with it every day, And you all benefit when there's like really great images, Yeah, there's always one. There's always one. Okay. Elle Riggs, this is interesting. Molly says, I'm intimidated by her class descriptions. And Elle Riggs says, I love her work, Nancy Crowe's work, but it seems that the work of her students is very similar. I get it, but I also struggle with it a bit. You know what I mean? And the thing is, I do. And that's kind of a question, right, about this show is like, critiquing things, thoughtfully. For me, I don't know. I get afraid to not, I want to be everybody's friend, right? But that can be a problem. I want to be honest. And that's the most important thing, is to be honest. And so, to be honest, I think some of the quilts I've seen from Nancy Crowe get quite repetitive. They do. There, I'm honest, right? I'm honest. It's not mean. It's just the truth. It's how I feel. And so I see that. And I can see that in some of the work of the students too. But maybe it's all just a stepping stone for them. Maybe it's like they have to learn these things and then move on from there. I don't know. Maybe it's just really fun to make quilts like this. And people are like, this is great. I love it. Okay. So that's our opening quilt. Kristen, we'll see you later. I'm so glad that you came by. D. Marie says, Mary, when the photos are called up on the internet, the size arrives on your desktop or phone. That can take a great deal of time depending on one's connection. A problem on the destination. It's a problem on the destination end as well. Yeah, that can be true. Sometimes, yeah, I have a couple like workarounds on that, but it's true. It may be, who knows? But some of them just are so like beautiful. These TIFF files that are like 6,000 by 6,000 pixels or something crazy. I'm not even clicking on that link. All of that. Okay. So now I'm going to get into some images. I've got a couple other things to say, but I'm not going to say them. I want to show you things. I want to get to the goods. So let's get to the goods. So I was looking for things. I'm small. Oh yeah. Okay. I was looking for what I was going to do for you. And I thought about a lot of different things. And nothing was really like stirring my soul, I'm going to get big just for a second. Nothing was like stirring my soul. because I remember I said, ideally I would plan ahead like 2 weeks worth of shows on some lazy Sunday, but it doesn't work like that for me. I gotta feel the juice. I gotta be juiced up. I gotta feel the juice. So I wasn't feeling the juice on like what I thought I was gonna do. So I was like, well, now what, And then I had this idea, because Mary Kate, drinking game that we play, the Not Your Grandmother's Quilts drinking game. I have another idea, but it's not going to be a drinking game because one is plenty. But I think you'll appreciate this. I mean, there really could be, I think, a game that is like the quilt version of 6 Degrees from Kevin Bacon. I haven't played that in a while. 6 Degrees of Kevin Bacon. Because no matter, and we do it all the time on this show. Where we go down the rabbit hole. It's like I say all the time, quilts can take you anywhere. You can explore a quilt and you can learn all about the world, all about people, all about history, and all kinds of things. Quilts are like your magic carpet into really anything you want to know. And that's why we love them, because we don't just love quilts, we love all of the things, and quilts can take us to all of the things. Always, it's like that. So I was like, maybe it could be called like Quilt Telephone or something. But that's different because a game of telephone, is a specific thing. But so I don't know how it looks. I don't know what it looks like. My mom has also come up with a game that she wants us all to play. I'll share that after the break. She's very funny. So the game, I thought, well, what happened on this day in history? I was like, well, let me look up one of those lists. On this day in history, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, and maybe I could find a quilt to go with like all the things. Like, I bet I could quickly. Like, there could be a related, there's content here, because I'll bet you everything that I find on some history.com list of what happened in history today, I can find a quilt. There's a quilt there, without question. And you know what? There was. There was. And so we're going to look at them. It's weird. It's pretty weird. So let's begin. 6 Degrees is the second book. I mean, at this point, it's like the 5th book. So let's start. And what's really interesting is that I got like a flash dance Jennifer Beals thing going on, maybe. What's really interesting is that it ties into this other thing that I wanted to talk about tonight. Okay. That's a diamond. Boy, is it a diamond. So one of the things that happened on January 25th, years ago, is that the largest diamond that's ever been found was found. In 1905, the largest diamond, okay? There's a quilt story for every day. There's a quilt story for every day. Several times a day. So this is from history.com, okay? World's largest diamond found January 25th, 1905, at the Premier Mine in Pretoria, South Africa. A 3,106 carat diamond was discovered during a routine inspection by the mine's superintendent, weighing 1.33 pounds and christened the Cullinan. It was the largest diamond ever found. And I believe that it still is. I think that not too long ago they found the second largest, but I am under the impression that it is still the largest. No, it's not the Hope Diamond. It's different. It's different. I think. I don't know. If it is the Hope Diamond, they'll say that, but I don't think so. I think the Hope Diamond's different. A Hope Diamond is like bluish. Anyway, Frederick Wells was 18 feet below the Earth's surface when he spotted a flash of starlight embedded in the wall just above him. His discovery was presented that same afternoon to Sir Thomas Cullinan. Okay. God, really? It's like, that diamond's amazing. Name it after me. Like, dude, really? I mean, call it Pretoria, the Pretoria, where it was found. No. Okay, fine. Why did I even ask? He owned the mine. Well, okay. Well, why did he own it? Everything's a disaster. Okay, Cullinan then sold the diamond to the Transvaal provincial government, which presented the stone to Britain's King Edward VII as a birthday gift. It's so much bigger than the Hope Diamond. Oh my God. Worried that the diamond might be stolen. So Edward, okay, so it's in England, right? It still is, but it went to England. The Transvaal provincial government. Oh, South Africa. Okay. Worried that the diamond might be stolen. No, not that diamond stolen. Might be stolen in transit from Africa to London. Edward arranged to send a phony diamond. A phony diamond aboard a steamer ship loaded with detectives as a diversionary tactic. Where is this movie? While the decoy slowly, very slowly, made its way from Africa on the ship, the Cullinan was sent to England in a plain box. Edward entrusted the cutting of the Cullinan to Joseph Asher, head of the Asher Diamond Company of Amsterdam. Asher, who had cut there's not too much of this, but it's interesting, right? Asher, who had cut the famous Excelsior diamond, a 971-carat diamond found in 1893, studied this stone for 6 months before attempting to cut. How cool is that? Kenny, exactly. Kenny's reading ahead. That's okay. On his first attempt, the steel blade broke with no effect on the diamond. Oh, this is great. You're going to love what happens next in this show. Just hang on to your hats. It's a hat. Look, it's a hat. On his first attempt. Okay. On the second attempt, the diamond shattered exactly as planned. Asher then fainted from nervous exhaustion. Oh, Asher. I mean, that's me. The Cullinan was later cut into 9 large stones and about 100 smaller ones. Wow, valued at millions of dollars all told. The largest stone is called the Star of Africa, or Cullinan I, and at 530 carats, it is the largest cut, fine quality, colorless diamond in the world. The second largest stone, the Star of Africa II, or Cullinan II, is 370 carats. Both of these stones, as well as the Cullinan III, are on display in the Tower of London with Britain's other crown jewels. The Cullinan I is mounted in the British sovereign's royal scepter, and the Cullinan II sits in the imperial state crown. Oh, yes, it's Queen Mary. It's Queen Mary, and she is wearing the Cullinan I and II in this picture. I suspect that would be number 1, a big thing dripping off of her bust area. And then, wait a minute. Cullinan I, it's in the royal scepter. So maybe we don't see Cullinan I. But I thought it said that she was wearing Cullinan I. Anyway, it's in a scepter, and the Cullinan II is in the state crown. So maybe that's the Cullinan. Anyway, diamonds, people, diamonds. Big ones, really big ones. Yes, she has been iced, this lady. So I was like, cool. Well, I know what quilt we should look at. Obviously, somebody might just know what's coming. Pshaw! Cat Jones's Quilt Bling. Cat Jones's Quilt Bling that is inspired by a princess cut diamond. Now, she won Best in Show at QuiltCon in 2017. Now, I'm going to make myself disappear because I don't want to cover a single smidge of this thing. Sound? You having sound problems, Bonnie? Not yet. If somebody else is, then I'll take a look. But maybe, you know what? I might have bumped the table or something too. I'll watch out in case I'm doing that. So I may have shown you this before because I love this quilt. And what I've said about this quilt before, Jade Unster, it blows me away as well. I talk about this quilt a fair amount because I maintain that, oh God, you know what? Court quilts, you're fine. You're fine. Estelle Witherspoon was upset that you said a quilt blew you away. Okay, I think that was the problem, but I allowed the comment. I hope that's okay. Estelle is she's an older lady, and she doesn't like anything that she She doesn't want to be shocked, and so she's a little touchy about these things. So it's such an awesome quilt. It's true, Robin's Nest. So I bring this quilt up a lot because whenever if I'm in conversation with a person who doesn't know about quilts, like about modern quilts or about quilts, really like at all, right? They think that they're the grandma thing, or they think that quilts they think they know what they're talking about, right? And a lot of what they think about quilts is absolutely true. Their comfort and their home and their emotional objects, all the things that we love about quilts, that's true about them. But there's all these other things about quilts too. And I have found, thank you, Kat Jones, that nothing is really better to like stop the conversation and reset the conversation about quilts than this freaking quilt. This quilt is insane. It won Best in Show in, what was it? Who said Robin's Nest? Did you see it at QuiltCon? Who saw it? It was 2017, right? Yeah. You're a new nerd. Okay, proud. I'm so glad. Is this your first time seeing it? I hope so. I hope like bunches of you, this is your first time seeing it, because there's nothing like the first time seeing bling, man. I mean, I walked in, it was at Savannah, wasn't it? I walked into QuiltCon, and the Best in Show quilt is always right there at the front of the hall. Yeah, Lauren, you get it. Hello, Lauren. If I didn't say hi to you already, hello. And I couldn't believe it. I think I started laughing. I just started laughing out loud because it's so just totally cool. There's just never been a quilt like this. And it's what I love about it too. And I've got more of Kat Jones's work to show you, okay? Because this is our detour. I'm going to show you, on this day in history, quilts, but there are detours, right? Because Kat Jones is the main one, because, of course, in case you just came in, on this day in history, the largest diamond in the world was found in 1903 or 1905. So how do we relate this to the world of quilts? Well, it relates very directly because this is a very famous quilt and it's new. And what I love about it is, it's huge, by the way. It's 10 feet by 10 feet or something. What was on the back of the quilt, Bonnie? What? I'm losing people? What happened? What do you mean, Bonnie? Bonnie says I'm losing people. What do you mean? Sound or something? What's going on? I'm going to refresh the chat. What's going on? Is there a sound? Tell me if there's sound trouble. Losing people. Good. Okay. I don't know what you mean, Bonnie. I hope you still got the stuff. You still got sound. Okay. Okay. So check in. Let us know if you're all right. Okay. So what I love about this quilt is many things, but it's so perfect for the modern quilt guild. I mean, it's just perfect. It's like this tour de force for the modern quilt style. Solid colors, graphic. It's also sort of the pop culture. The pop culture thing is very, very there. And so you have the modern quilters who are very contemporary, skew a little bit younger. I mean, it's a quilt that its time had come, and I love that about it. It's magnificent. Indeed, it is. Okay, so the color placement makes it look like it shines, and yes, it does. What I love to look at, and you could look at it all day, is look at the peach. I mean, this is it just takes a special kind of talent and patience, obviously, to achieve something like this. And now, and what's really cool is that I searched around the internet, and I found some process pictures that I want to show you. Quilting Politic, if I take off my glasses, it looks like a real diamond. I know, isn't it so cool, right? Now the International Quilt Museum is purchasing, I don't know if the deal is that they are, just automatically purchasing the Best in Show quilts from QuiltCon, but there's a program happening where they're purchasing quilts from QuiltCon, and I so hope, Leslie, if you're watching, please tell me you have bling. Okay. So look at this. So this is a process picture that I found on Kat's blog. And again, this is Kat Jones, and she is from New Zealand. She's from New Zealand. And so I have different pictures from the making of Bling, and I also have some pictures of other quilts that she's made. And I don't love going to people's Instagram just like directly on the show because it's a little easy, it's kind of easy. But we're going to go to her Instagram because I want to show you, I don't know. She doesn't post, I think the last time she posted on her blog was one post in 2020. I've got her blog pulled up too. We'll take a look. But anyway, so I think, the quilt construction nerds out here will really, get into this. It looks like, I actually want to zoom out a little bit, but it looks like she's got strips, wedges, you could say, right? Wedges. Let me see. I'm going to take a look here. A friend took a class from Echoso. Hey, Echoso. You say a friend maybe took a class from Kat Jones. Such a cool process. Yeah. How did she do it? How did she do it? So Hani's asking is any portion of QuiltCon going to be done on streaming? It's a really good question. When I talked to a friend of mine who's on the board, I was like, are you going to stream the whole show too? This was a while ago. And she said, QuiltCon Together, that was all online, was so popular, so successful, that they are going to do streaming events, but it's not going to be that QuiltCon is streamed every year because it's too, it's like two different shows, like the live event and then like a whole streaming event makes sense to do separately because, I think about just like doing a lecture and like doing it live. If you just sort of taped it and put it online, it wouldn't be great because you couldn't see the slides. So you'd have to produce. Anyway, it gets really complicated. So they are going to do a ton of streaming events, but QuiltCon won't be streaming like it was last year, So it's kind of an answer for you. Not a great one, but yeah. It's like strategic crumb piecing, a nun maker. You know what, by the way, can I tell you? I'm going to linger on this picture for a second because I know some people are really, I'll zoom in on a different section here. I know some of you are really wanting to look at this. Liz Porter told me the other day, a nun maker, she's like, people don't give us credit for it, but your mom and I came up with the term of crumb piecing. I was like, really? Liz, that's a bold statement, It was like, but I had never heard of it until y'all talked about it one day, months ago. And I was like, oh, that's great, crumb piecing. And Liz, when I was interviewing her for Quilt Book, she was like, yeah, it's our term. Yeah, we're never going to get credit for it. It's fine. I was like, it sounds like something that came from the 1930s. But apparently, she and Mom, I didn't say, don't shoot the messenger. Liz said it. Yes, paper piecing indeed. Cotton and Bourbon and Kenny are saying, yeah, it's got to be paper piecing. And Kat talks about this. So we're gonna keep moving because I've got some drawings and some other things. Caitlin says, I think I looked into it a while ago and the process involved freezer paper, but I don't think it's the kind of FPP that I know how to do. Well, guess what I've got? I have got something to read to you. Yes. Oh, that's right. Oh, look, I'm going behind here to get the thing. Yes, we're still on the thing and I'm getting the thing and, oh yeah, okay. I'm going to read to you what Kat has to say about this quilt as I show you some more images, okay? So this is an interview that she gave in 2018. This is a really, really nice thing here, okay? An interview that she gave to cozyproject.com. So this is a blog. In 2018, they interviewed Kat Jones about this quilt. Now I'm going to read to you. Okay. Let me just catch up a little bit. Yeah. Sewing Karen says, I think the key for this quilt is the extreme points. I agree. Seeing a quilt in person, it's so true. What does crumb piecing refer to? You know what? Can someone remind me? Oh yeah, crumbs, some small scraps. M. Sue John, I totally believe Liz Porter and happy to give credit to her and your mom. Okay, good. Molly's got to go. Molly, thank you for coming. You got to make lunches and go to bed. Good night. I hope you caught my good night. And thanks for coming to the show. You know Molly. Okay. So here's what sewing crumbs. You're sewing crumbs right now? Okay, that is weird. I mean, yeah, it's weird enough to play the sound cue. Okay, here's the interview. And I'm going to go back to the full quilt real quick because I've got some drawings, but I want to go back just to the full thing so we can just hear. I actually kind of like it hanging at QuiltCon. That's kind of good context for it to see it like in space. Let me just do it. It's not too long, but this is the stuff we want to know, right? CozyProject.com asks, how did you come up with the idea for bling? And what did you want to achieve? Kat says, I entered the QuiltCon 2016 Triangle Challenge in 2015, and we were given a tiny triangle template, which we had to use to make a quilt. After trying a couple of ideas, I got to go to a picture that I have for you. Hang on. Because I've got actually another picture that's really important to show. This is what she's talking about. After trying out a number of different ideas, so this is back in 2015, I ended up reverting to my stash of gray solid scraps and created the quilt facets, inspired by an emerald cut diamond. While sewing all these tiny triangles of fabric together, I kept thinking this would be a lot easier to do if it was foundation paper piecing and I wasn't restricted to using this particular triangle shape. I decided then that for the following year, I would make a large foundation paper pieced diamond quilt. And she did. Okay, so the interviewer asks, you're well known for your modern bias method and organic shapes, which we'll see in a second, okay? True, bias tape. She does a lot with bias tape. It's fascinating and amazing. Just wait. Until tonight, I had never really looked at her other quilts. So I love this show. It's an opportunity for me to see more. I had never looked at Kat Jones's other work, really. And I'm so thrilled that I have now because she's so cool. So they're like, you're known for modern bias methods and organic shapes. What prompted this geometric design? Kat says, I've always had a love-hate relationship with foundation paper piecing, and one of the first large quilts I made was a Mariner's Star Compass quilt, so it's a technique I'm familiar with. Interesting. Although I'm known for my organic improv applique work with bias binding, wow, look at this quilt, it's insane. I do also enjoy making a pieced quilt, and my aim with bling was to get the idea of the light shining through a classic cut gemstone, which of course leads to a lot of geometric shapes. Okay. How did your design process work? The interviewer asks. Hey Raffle, what's up, girl? How did you get from the idea to the pattern? Okay. We're looking at bling, Raffle, because the biggest diamond in the world was found on this day in 1905. Kat says, when I began designing bling, I first looked at a lot of diamond photos online. Like this one, perhaps, Kat Jones? The Callanan, the largest diamond in the world. She says, I thought about what cut of diamond I wanted to portray with my quilt. As a princess cut diamond is square, I decided this would be a good shape, interesting, to work with for a queen-size bed quilt. I didn't know. Many of the diamond sellers' sites have diagrams of the underlying structure of the different cuts of diamond. So referring to those diagrams, I drew up the main lines of 1/4 in a program called TurboCAD, a computer drafting program. Then looking at lots of photos of real princess cut diamonds, I drew in lots of smaller divisions to create the idea of the facets and the sparkle. Then by copying and flipping, this might be, you guys, this might be like one of those diamond seller diagrams. Like, this looks like her work, you know? I don't know. You're a tiny tipsy poodle. We love our tiny tipsy poodles here. Okay. Sorry. Looking at lots of photos of real princess. Okay, yeah. Then by copying and flipping this line drawing 3 times, I created the full pattern for the foundation paper piecing. Having it drawn up on the computer full size, I broke it down into sections so I could have it printed out on A0 paper at my local photocopy shop. Wow. It was 6 sheets for each quarter, so a total of 24 sheets of A0 paper. How is the quilt constructed? The interviewer asks. The quilt was foundation paper pieced from my printouts. However, I did alter them a bit with a pencil as I was piecing. I chose the colors and color placement as I pieced rather than planning the color placement from the beginning. Wow, that is not what I expected. I did not expect that at all. I figured she would have like color coded the whole thing. You know? That's wild. Which fabric ranges and or colors did you use? How did you put the fabric to work to achieve the look you wanted to get? Kat says, I was trying to achieve the effect of light coming through the diamond. If you've just joined us, this is a quilt, by the way. Okay. I decided each quarter should have a different tone. Very light. Oh, wow. Check this out. Hold on. I decided that each quarter should have a different tone. Very light, mid-light, mid-dark, and very dark. Who among us noticed that? I did not. Maybe you did. But can you believe... Actually, maybe it's this one. I mean, I did... the quadrants are all slightly different in value. I mean, in tone. Because this is light, right? This one is slightly less light. The darkest one is the lower right? You did notice the top was lighter. I just, like, I took it all in, and I didn't realize the quadrants is so brilliant. Like, who is this? Like, what are you? Just crazy smart and good and talented at quilts. I also purchased some... Oh, wait, I had a large stash of gray solid fabrics from various manufacturers, but they were mostly Kona solids. I also purchased some additional gray fabrics from the Kona solids range to ensure I had as many shades of gray as possible. Interesting. I would be interested to know how many different shades of gray she had, you know? I kept looking at my diamond ring to see colors in it. That's bananas. And now, well, listen, now I think the apricot colors came from my skin. I am dead right now. Are you for real? Oh my God. I think the apricot colors came from my skin and the blue colors from the sky. Really? That's really awesome. You know? I love that. I think that's really cool. I can't believe that she didn't have the colors planned out, but that she was piecing, oh God, piecing and like looking at her ring to be like, huh, okay. I mean, I have chills. Isn't that wonderful? It's so wonderful. I mean, so whoever makes this quilt, like whoever, if someone other than Kat made it, the color of their skin, the color of the sky, that at that time would influence how the quilt looks. It's fucking awesome. This quilt got more awesome. I'm cleaning my little bird stitch. I literally today looked at my ring for the like 5th time in as many days and been like, Mary Fons, you need to clean this ring. Now I'm gonna do it. This quilt, I can't believe it got more awesome, but it did. Okay, just a little bit more here. I think Kat says, I think adding small amounts of color in this predominantly gray quilt made it more interesting and realistic. Yes. And one last question. Were there any major learning curves along the way that pushed your boundaries and your patience? After piecing the first quarter, Kat says, which took 40 hours. Okay, 1/4. The first quarter took 40 hours. You know, sometimes the next one goes faster, right? Wait, what does Mary Kate say? When's the last time you wrote a description of a mostly gray quilt that included the word sparkling? To make one is such a feat. Totally. Yeah, I mean, it's like making a brown quilt that shimmers. You know, it's like, oh, way to go, you know. So Kat says, after piecing the first quarter, which took 40 hours, I could see that my idea was going to work. And after that, it was a bit boring to piece the other 3 quarters. Hey, we know that can happen, right? Totally. Foundation paper piecing was very time consuming, and I had to push myself to finish the quilt top. Wow, totally. Although the number of seams that converge at the corners of the quilt Also, the number of seams that converge at the corners of the quilt was a big design flaw. Wow. Oh my gosh. Yeah, look. I mean, that is like hell on earth. Oh my God. Oh. That could have tanked the whole thing, right? I mean, and you have 4 of them. God bless this person for doing it. I mean, that's what you win for, right? Is like finishing something like this, like actually realizing it. She says, I actually had to hammer those corners flat in order to get the binding on the quilt. And this is one of the reasons why I do not want to make a commercially available pattern for this quilt. Thank you, Kat. And they do say, ask, how did you feel when you learned your quilt had been awarded Best in Show at QuiltCon 2017? And she said, surprised. I'm always surprised when my quilt is chosen for a prize, as I usually think the other quilts I see in a show are so much better than mine. Cool, huh? She could have used a clapper. Yeah, you know, I have a clapper. Someone gave me one at I was teaching a class or something, and they gave me a clapper, and I was like, oh, God, I can't fit anything more in my suitcase. And then I got it home, and I was like, this rules. So that is, oh yeah, here's this treble corner. God. You know, it probably would get a little bit tiresome. I mean, there's a lot of gray, you know. A lot of gray, and it's big. It's a big quilt. Anyway, way to go. This is Quilt Church. Kitty Hannah, ain't that the truth? It is the truth. Okay, so on this day in history, we got to learn about Kat Jones because there was a diamond. Now, so then just a couple more quilts of Kat's. Look at this. I mean, wow. This is a balloon quilt. And she says of this, there's a pattern for this quilt available on Craftsy, and I just pulled, you know, just a few different pictures of her stuff. Oh, and I do have her Instagram. We might look at it, we might not. You might just explore that on your own. We'll see. But this is stuffed, you know, it seems, right? And so Kat says of this, based on my winning the Moda Bella Challenge quilt in 2017. This pattern is a mini balloon quilt that works well with prints or solids. To make larger or smaller balloons and a quilt with many balloons, the template supplied can be printed out or photocopied into different sizes. And then, so this is information about the pattern. Okay, and she's like, you can use a walking foot and this and that. I mean, look at her quilting. It's crazy. She's so talented. And I think I understand now why the person who was interviewing her is like, you're known for, you know, the curves and stuff that you do. So like the big diamond quilt, like that was kind of a departure. And as you look at more of her stuff, it's true. She really does like a lot of free motion, and she does this bias binding stuff, which I think we will have to go to her Instagram for that. Very interesting. Swirl quilting. I mean, look at that. Wow. Oh my God. I'm so bad at machine quilting. I just don't do it enough. I had a mid-arm for a long time. I mean, I still have it. It's at my friend Heather's house, but I mean, you have to practice to get good at a thing. I never practice. It's really great. This is called Sunshine. Amazing. I think she's won a lot of things. She's an award-winning quilter. Elle Riggs has never considered a hammer a quilting tool. Oh yeah. This was something, I think it's on her blog. Yeah, this was on her blog. Obviously, it's a quilt top, you know, it was on her design wall or something, but look at her use of color. It's so great. I mean, this looks like, I don't know how many of you play Tetris, who have ever played Tetris, but the latest version of Tetris, Eric has on his PlayStation, and I like Tetris a lot. It can be kind of a nice way to chill out. I mean, this looks as good as the animation in the newest Tetris game. And I mean, it's an incredible thing. It's a video game like produced like 2 years ago. So it's the best, you know, rendering of color and all of this stuff. And I mean, this looks like a Tetris game. It's so, it shimmers. It does. It does. It looks like water on glass or something like, I don't know. It's really, really cool. Like how, like it takes someone with an eye like no other to see that, like, look at this sort of cream, like there's this cream white that seems like it shouldn't go there, you know, because there's, you see like the yellow, there's this pale yellow right up in here, and with the rest of the quilt getting lighter as it goes up, it doesn't make sense that you would put a cream below this up here, this sort of pink. But she did. And that's why it shimmers. She understands color theory, 1,000%. 1,000%. It's astonishing. Thank you. Thank you. It's astonishing. An abstract peacock tail. Totally, Caitlin. Totally. Yeah. Fabulous. And the last thing I have here, and yeah, I'm going to encourage you to look at Kat Jones's Instagram and see some of her bias tape stuff. It's really interesting. This is a drawing that she did for a quilt called Solar Flare in 2018. So I'd be interested to know like what she's doing lately, because like I said, her blog isn't updated. There's maybe one post in 2020, but you know, 2020 was not like a normal year for a lot of people. And so I'm not sure, but a lot of the Instagram stuff I saw too was pretty old. Maybe she's just not into being on the internet, which is like completely legit. But boy, is she's a hero to me. I just think Bling is one of the most brilliant quilts I've ever seen. Ever. Okay. So what else happened this year in history? I mean, this day in history. You guys, you don't even know what's coming. You don't even know. A lot of bad stuff happened, by the way, but a lot of good stuff happened too. Well, this is sort of bad, but good. Paul McCartney. That's right. Have you ever seen this picture? This is a deep cut. Not many people have seen this picture. This is one of my friend Jonathan's archive pictures. I don't know what it's from. I don't know, you know, when it was taken. I don't know anything about it except that it's Paul McCartney and he's wrapped in a quilt, and his name, it's your boyfriend, MC John. You know what? I thought I saw you with him. His name is on that quilt. Where is this quilt? Yeah, better than the gala. It's so, Susan, I should totally put this in my video. There's still time to put it in my fashion video. Paul McCartney's wearing a quilt and he didn't destroy it. You're good. You're very good. I should put it in there. I think I can. I think I can slip it in that video. So where's that quilt, right? But anyway, so why is he in here? Why? Well, on this day in history, Paul McCartney was released from a Tokyo jail and deported from Japan in 1980. And I have more information about the other, like there's like, I don't know, 4 or 5 other things that happened on this day in history that have quilts related to them. I mean, that we can relate to quilts very easily. I gotcha. But I didn't get more information about why Paul McCartney was in jail in Tokyo. I mean, I'm sure he was up to no good. But in 1980, on this day in history, he was released. And I just happened to know that I had a picture of Paul McCartney with a quilt around him in my files. So you see, I don't know what the game should be called. You know, like 6 degrees from a quilt that's not it. Paul McCartney in a dressing room wrapped in a quilt with a cowboy hat circa 1964, 1978. Really? You found it? Prairie Susie, what are you saying? You found the image? That's excellent. I I didn't know that. So this is like, okay, hold on. 1964, 1978, Gunther MPTV. You're good. You're very, very good. You're hired. You're going to be the photo archivist. McCartney. Interesting. This is very exciting. You Googled Paul McCartney wrapped in a quilt. You know, you'd think I would have done that, but I don't think I did. That's awesome. That is very awesome. Okay. Are there like really good versions of it? Because this is okay. It was scanned, but it's not a great version. Okay. Okay, I don't need that anymore. All right. So Paul McCartney, excellent. This day in history. Also, this day in history. Guess what else happened? The first ever Emmy Awards. That's right. Television. It was so easy to find television things. I just searched for television quilts, and look how cute. A gift from an American fan. It might have been for Paul. It might have been. So TV, you know, the TV shows up a fair amount in the quilt sphere, especially in the modern quilt world, because check this out. There were a few things that I found television related. This is darling. This is a pattern by Lori Holt. Lori Holt did some cute retro things. Hang on. Yeah, the first Emmy Awards. Wait a minute. Yeah. The first Emmy Awards ceremony ever was held in 1949 at the Hollywood Athletic Club. You can keep your Quilt Nerd card. You're already following her. Hang on. Oh. Hold on. This day in quilts. That's good. Padma says, I have an idea about your manifesto and quilt cutting. Why don't we apply some positive reinforcement? Why don't you find people who are making quilted clothes out of their own quilted fabric and give them a stamp of approval from Quilt Nerd? Love that. I need a stamp of approval. We need a stamp of approval. And bring their businesses to the public. No quilts were harmed in the making of these fashions. You know what? Here's what I hope. We need a quilt stamp of approval. A Quilt Nerd stamp of approval. I think maybe if people see the video, it may lead to, I don't know. I don't want to get I don't want to get my hopes up, and I don't want to have more of a inflated sense of importance or something about it. But if enough people see it, I think the conversation may lead to things like that, where like people just get creative and start doing other things. You know, I hope so. I really hope so. And I'm very aware that it might not really do anything. Not that it might not affect some change in the world, but like just not that many people will see it maybe. And I'm prepared for that. I'm prepared for that. I keep thinking like it's going to really make a splash, you know, this video, but it might not go anywhere. It's okay. I'm old enough now. I've had disappointments. I'm ready. SJ says, every chat that gets past Estelle is a stamp of approval. Indeed. She's tough. The first Emmy Awards. Okay. This is interesting. Hollywood's first television academy had been founded 3 years earlier. So this happened in 1949 by Sid Cassidy, a former film editor for Frank Capra, who later worked as a grip at Paramount Studios and a journalist. At a time when only about 50,000 American households had TV sets, Cassidy saw the need for an organization that would foster, aren't these cute, would foster productive discussion of the fledgling entertainment medium. The Academy's, this is cute, the Academy's membership grew quickly, despite the lack of support from the Hollywood motion picture establishment, which perhaps understandably felt threatened by TV, and its potential to keep audiences entertained at home and away from the theaters. I mean, is that not totally the way the internet has been for movies and TV people? Technology changes and it's like, no, this is terrible. Like, people aren't going to go to the movies anymore. They're going to watch movies at home all the time. I mean, they probably didn't need to worry about the internet. They probably needed to worry about the pandemic, you know, but nobody saw that coming. Bernina posted about Stan today. Really? Stan Okay, I'm gonna say it. I'm saying it. You ready? I'm gonna liven this Fons up a little bit. I'm gonna say it. I'm gonna do something risky. I'm gonna name names. There are two people out there making quilt clothes that are the worst. They're the worst. They're the literal worst. They are Stan. I hate him. I don't hate much. I hate him. And Lady Lancaster. That's right. Lady Lancaster, I'm coming for you, girl. You're the worst. I don't know you, and I hope that I'm wrong, but you worm. That's a Ren and Stimpy reference. Some of you may know it, you worm. But I know all of you are online at the moment. Go ahead. I'll wait. LadyLancaster.com. Maybe it's because they have something in common, these two people. They both model all of their clothes. Everything. They have a couple other models, that do stuff, that are modeling their clothes made of the desiccated corpses of quilts. But in most of the pictures and most of the videos, Stan is center stage. And in most of the pictures, Lady Lancaster is like on a mountain or tossing her hair or like just, and it's like, really? It's so cringe. It's so very cringe. And I shall not be silent anymore. There was restraint. I had restraint. I did not name names in my video. But it wasn't easy because, Lady Lancaster like hires Amish people to do it for her or something. I don't know. I think it's terrible. Maybe she's a lovely person, but I can't tell. So anyway, there you go. Sorry. Maybe I shouldn't have done it. It's too late now. No, I love it. It felt good. I'm tired of being so nice about all this. Okay, television. Okay. A few more of these. Just a few more. Oh, this is my favorite. Well, it's not my favorite quilt. I say that too much, but they gaze at their reflection in the screen. Yes, they do. Transfixed by themselves, don't you think? Transfixed. Loving them. Loving their I can't see myself. Well, I can see myself down here on the monitor about this big, but I'm only checking to see if I have lipstick on my teeth. I'm not like that. So gross. I had people helping me out with my social media for a while. They were great, long suffering, but they were like, people really love to see like pictures of your life in London and pictures of your life in Chicago and stuff. And I'm like, yeah, I totally get it. Taking selfies, like I just don't do it anymore. I will sometimes, like it's fine. I do, from time to time, but like the days of like doing that, are over. They're long over. I find the selfie, only a few are okay. I really think that. That's just for me. Maybe it's okay for you. But like the whole selfie thing, like I know people who just all of their Instagram is mostly selfies, and I just think it's really ew. I think it's cringy. I think it's a little cringy. It's like, really? Is that what you do a lot? Is you take pictures of yourself? Okay. Oh God, watch, like half of you like love taking selfies, and you're like, wow, Mary, that's me. Like I have very good reasons for doing it. Oh, what's going on? I'm probably just made people mad. I don't know. What's happening? It's what I get. It's what I get for talking about people. No, everything's they gaze at their reflection. I know. Okay. Couple other things. This was Pamela, not Pamela Studstill, but Pamela Studstill did her TV thing. Yeah. Other people's. I don't do selfies, I do other people's. Yeah, exactly. That's more interesting to me. And here's the Rosie Lee Tompkins quilt. Okay, so the last on this day in history I'm going to do tonight. I think there was one. Oh yeah, no, there's two more. This one is here because JFK. This is the Rosie Lee Tompkins quilt. Okay, on this day in history, JFK gave his first televised press conference. So there's more TV history. Okay, yeah, there's others that don't that model their own stuff. Yeah, I mean, sometimes maybe it's a cost thing, you know. So, and do whatever, you know, do whatever. You know, my beef isn't with them; it's with what they're doing, you know. So, I'm getting all riled up. Okay, so so this quilt, this woman was in the newspaper 3 days ago for this quilt. So on this day in history, JFK did his first televised address, or his first televised press conference in 1961. And this woman in Florida just made this quilt, and her name is Roseanne Hamilton. And she won. So this quilt will be included in the 2022 AQS Quilt Week show and competition in March in Branson, Missouri. I mean, this style of quilt is not my favorite style of quilt, but you gotta admit, she nailed it. She nailed it. Yeah, court quilts, he probably, I mean, $20, something like that. I know the tie is really great on this. Lady Lancaster sells one of her duster jackets for $1,500, by the way. Mm-hmm. Yeah, the tie is really cool, the 3D thing. So, and she says her next quilt is going to be 2 times harder than JFK. Quote, I'm going to do Frank Sinatra with the old Sands sign behind him. And she has a photo process, and she picks her photos, and, you know. So this is, I mean, just 3 days ago. So it was, you know, it's news. Every accomplishment starts with the decision to try. JFK. It's funny. She's missing, like, there's some punctuation that might have been helpful there, because right now it looks like every accomplishment starts with the decision to try JFK. You know? Like, jerk fried kebabs or something like that. I don't know. Let's see. There was another. Oh yeah, look at this, you guys. I found this. This is crazy. Yeah, that's stamps and ribbon. Hey, I don't. You know, I can't help it. What I find, I can't help it. And then the last one I have for you tonight is. I mean, this is, you know, it's kind of crazy. Okay. It's this. Have you ever heard of Pam Holland? She's going to wrap up the show tonight. Pam Holland is apparently kind of, I mean, she's a big deal. But I had never heard of her. But there's so many people I haven't heard of, so I don't know. But I feel like some of you maybe know this person. This is a book that she wrote. It's called The 1776 Quilt, Heartbreak, Heritage, and Happiness. She won at festival in, I don't know if it was it was before 2010. It was 2010 or before that, with a reproduction of a quilt that's called the 1776 quilt, okay? This is her version of the quilt that is like the 1776 quilt. So from her blog, so there's a book. Okay, this book, this is the cover of the book. So there's a book called The 1776 Quilt, Heartbreak, Heritage, and Happiness. Okay, so there's a book about this. I think it's a coffee table book. And I'm going to read to you from Amazon the description of the book, okay? This is the quilt. I know. This is like, look at this. It's amazing. It's amazing. Pam Holland's personal story of the famous 1776 quilt will capture the imagination of every quilter. Besides sharing the amazing history behind the antique quilt's construction, I can zoom in a little bit, but I can't get too, yeah, I can, it's okay. Besides sharing the amazing history behind the antique quilt's construction on the battlefront by Sorbian soldiers. So it's German. It's a German thing. Sorbian soldiers who used materials from their uniforms to piece it together. Okay, we know about those quilts. This book also shares the technique Holland used to successfully replicate the quilt. Chef's kiss indeed, Kitty Hannah. Quilters who are looking to incorporate her new technique, called inlay applique, right, intarsia, can use the included patterns. Interesting, each of which were inspired by the original 1776 quilt. Featuring both incredible designs and a compelling story, this is a captivating read for quilters and historians alike. So interesting, right? So Pam wrote in her blog, oh, and by the way, the reason this is in the show is because in 1776, on this day in history, the first national memorial was ordered by Congress, and it was for the Revolutionary War, and Brigadier General Richard Montgomery or something was given the first national memorial, in the country, which is kind of cool, in 1776. So I was like, quilts, 1776, and this is what I found. I'm telling you, on this day, a quilt on this day or whatever, it's a thing. It's a whole thing. So this was very intriguing, and I looked for the original. I really wanted to find the original, but I couldn't. This is the picture, like I said, of her replica. But it's very interesting. I mean, I think I got to get the book, because you know what, y'all? We've talked a lot about these wool intarsia quilts. That's Pam. And that's possibly, it's not a quilt. No, it's not. It couldn't be. I don't know. I feel like it could be. She does a lot of really intense, like, very, very photorealistic things. I don't know. That's freaking me out. But we've talked a lot about this wool inlay applique, and it'd be kind of awesome to have a really good method for it, right? So I think I'm going to get it. The 1776 quilt, okay, by Pam Holland. And this is a picture of a gal she knew who went to the museum where the real quilt is kept, where the actual quilt is kept in Germany. And they took a copy of Pam's book to give to the museum. And this is the friend giving the thing. And then this is the friend, like, looking at the actual one. Now, what's interesting is, do you see this ripple on the bottom? Like, it looked to me, when I saw this picture, it looked like a rug. So I'm very interested in seeing the actual quilt, learning more about it, because, wait, let me make myself disappear, because I'm kind of covering the part that I mean. Yeah, the write down. I have a book on that quilt, but it's not by her. I think it's from the V&A or wherever the quilt is. Okay. Well, that makes sense. That makes sense, because I saw another picture of somebody with the book open. It was too small to be useful here, but yeah, I'd be interested to know what that is, what that book is. Yeah, it's just all very interesting, because I haven't ever seen it before. So this is just some of Pam Holland's other work. She's a thing. I mean, she is a known quilt maker. Look at this. See what I mean by the photorealism thing? That's bananas. She teaches a lot. Her website is like full of, I don't know. There's images of her stuff. There's classes that she offers. She does like an iPad class, like how to design on your iPad and stuff. And I mean, she's just a really active, really interesting person. Bananas. It is bananas. Look at this. Look at this meow. Look at that little meow. He's just like, ah! It's pretty incredible. And so, I mean, obviously this is thread painting, right? Wow. That's a pretty good background quilt, I don't know. The thread painting thing, have you ever done it? I'm interested. I'm interested to know if you have. I have not. I don't know that it's something I want to try. I would love to try wool inlay. That would be something I would like to try. The thread painting, it doesn't speak to me, but I am amazed at what people are able to do with it. And the fact that they use computers to aid them. Look at this little munchkin's nose. Look at that. It looks wet. I cannot even with your little nose. It really looks like it's moist. It's a moist nose. Impressive tabby indeed. Your husband would bankrupt you to buy this cat quilt. Really? Listen, I think she sells her work. This, you know what, Court Quilts, this is a picture. I didn't have a name for this quilt, but it was listed as the quilt I called it her cat class quilt because she teaches a class on cat, like making cat quilts maybe, or making this or something like it. And so I just called it her cat class quilt. So maybe you'd buy it and bankrupt the family, or you could just, make your own. This is, I think, a process shot for that first quilt that I showed you. This one. So yeah, her website, pamholland.com, is really, look at this. She's got a lot there. I mean, I didn't really know where to start with her because there's so much content that she has, and she had a blog for a while that's on a different site. Anyway, explore her stuff. I encourage you to do it. Look at the Taj Mahal back here. Anyway, people who do this kind of work use computers, obviously, to as one of their tools. And, when I think about what you have to know tech-wise, it's like to make this stuff happen and to use a computer successfully to realize your design, I mean, it's amazing. I mean, long armors use computers. It takes such skill to figure out how to do this, whether you're using a needle and thread or you're using a very fancy machine. I mean, it's just like, it's amazing to realize your work like this, I think. I know, these colors are lovely. They really are. They're very cute. So she has kind of a whimsy going on. This is called Geraldine the Giraffe. Lots of animals. This is the last picture I have. Lots of animals, lots of fun. It's fun. It's fun. I think this is some Kaffe. I recognize Kaffe facet fabric here. Indeed. It is impressive. She's very good. Mm-hmm. So, okay. So that's the show. I have one more thing I want to say. Just one more. And it's not getting angry, I promise you. So on Monday morning, I have a gig. I'm going to put Geraldine. I'm going to talk to you like this. And oh, wow. Oh, that's nice. Hi, Geraldine. Okay. So on Monday morning, I have a gig at a high school. I've been going to this. Somebody out there knows me from the gigs I used to do in high schools. Fremd High School is in the suburbs in Palatine. And it's like 15 years or so, I've been a guest at Writers Week. It's a festival they have every year, and I'm a guest. And for the past 10 years, I'm like the guest that kicks off the whole festival. It's really exciting. I love going there. I love this school. It's like I have this love for an entire high school. I just love them. I love them, and they have me every year, and I'm so grateful for it. And so it's on Monday. Writers Week kicks off on Monday, so I got to be there first period to kick off the festival. And it's about writing, and they have authors from all over come in, and poets, and it's just really cool. And so every year I try to do something really new and really different and exciting. Maybe that's why they like to have me back, because I'm always thinking of something. And so I was thinking about what I was going to do this year, and I've got a couple different ideas. But one of the things that I'm going to tell them is what I'm going to tell you tonight. And the reason I'm going to tell it to you is because the last time we were together on Saturday night, I talked to you about writing something for American Quilt Study Group, for uncoverings or something. Write about quilts for something, Maybe it's a research paper. I don't know what it is. And some people are like, no thanks. I got a million things to do and I'm just not interested. But some of you might be interested. And what I will share maybe later is I have this print off of all the articles that have been written up until 2014 in Uncoverings. All of these articles have been written, and they're fascinating. Some of them are sound super boring, and some of them sound so interesting. But I wrote a couple articles for Quilt Folk today, and I was writing the manifesto stuff and writing all this stuff. And I have been writing a long time, and I love to write. As an advisor of mine in grad school said, Mary, it's interesting. A lot of people want to have written something, but you really like to write. You like it. And it's not fun a lot of times, but you like it. And I was like, yeah, I really like it. It's not fun sometimes, but I really, really like it. And I do. And there are 2 books that have changed my life, that have made me the writer I am today. And I'm a writer who has to keep going back to books to help me not suck. And I want to tell you what they are, because if you have any desire to write anything, I am telling you, you need 2 books, and that is all. And the first one I'll tell you, they're not in order of importance. Actually, I even have a visual for you. Let me get small. It's just bear with me 2 seconds. This book will change your life. If you don't write now, if you used to write, if you do, or if you're actively writing, if you've read this book before, if this book looks like this, like my copy, because you read it and read it and read it, and it is tabbed and it's got writing all over it and it's a disaster. If you've ordered it for other people a lot, then all of you, this book is for you. It's really great. It will change you. It will change. Maybe you don't even think you can write, and you read this book and you're like, oh, I can. Because everything you learned about writing is wrong. It's all wrong. It's completely wrong. And as soon as you're free of that, it's like awesome. and it's just not what you think. I mean, it's just, I've never read a book like it. It doesn't, they're little sentences. It's not like, what you need to do as a writer is first unlock this and that and like go and think in a room. No, that's all the shit we've been learning about writing our whole lives. That doesn't make any damn sense. It doesn't make any sense. It doesn't help you. And it doesn't lead to good writing. It leads to writing that you don't want to do because it's boring and it's confusing and you don't like it. This book will help you to write sentences. That's it. Just a sentence that is what you want it to be. And then you write another one. Just get it. Just get it. Get it for a writer in your life or somebody who wants to write, because I think I've made my point. It's really good. It's really, really good. And the second one, this is also a scan of my copy. Yes, yeah, raffle waffle, topic sentence, descriptive statements, conclusion. Writing classes at school are awful. They are awful. And God bless the teachers, right? Like, they're just trying to get through. But I mean, that is nothing that we know about writing. Really, really cool writing. Like, can we really learn in school? Not in public school, not in college. This one is really, look how thin this is. This is very, very thin. You see? Part of this book, why I write George Orwell, why, yeah, listen, our Quilt Nerd comments are genius. And they are short sentences. So the thing is about George Orwell is that he was one of the best writers that's ever written in the English language, I think. And you know why I think that? Because of his rules. His rules for writing changed my life. And I read this one before I read the other one. Now, Why I Write has some political discourse and stuff in it, but Why I Write has a very famous list in it. That is the list right there with the red, and I am going to read it to you. It is very brief. When you're writing, this is what George Orwell has to say to you. Never use a metaphor, simile, or other figure of speech which you are used to seeing in print. He talks all about this, but it's like, all things being equal, da-da-da-da-da-da-da, or if you don't want to throw the baby out with the bathwater, you might consider da-da-da-da-da. And he talks about how these phrases are dead. There is no energy in them. We know what they are before we even get to the end of the words that they have in them. They are a waste of space. They're useless. You cut them off and your writing will be better. And I used to blog every day, and this changed my life because every single time, all right, pat him about the book. That's awesome. Every single time, BA and BS. Every single time I cut that kind of stuff out of my sentence or I change it, it's like, well, you don't want to throw, the something out of it. Change it, flip it on its head. Just don't ever use something you're used to seeing in print. If you're like, oh yeah, I've seen that a million times, cut it out. And it's better. Your writing's better. It's amazing. It's so simple. Never use a long word where a short word will do. Just today, Never use a long word where a short word will do. Everybody wants to sound smart. I want to sound smart. Everybody wants to sound, intelligent and thoughtful, and blah, blah, blah. Especially in academic writing. Someone was saying academic writing, you use these long words because you're supposed to, or you want to sound smart. It's okay. I want to sound smart. But just this morning I was writing Liz Porter's article, and I was kind of being ironic about it, but I had the word grandiloquence in it. And I was like, Mary, are you serious? No. And so I used the word dazzling instead. And it's so much better. Dazzling. It's 2 syllables. Grandiloquence, 4 syllables. I mean, if you have a word that's like 5 syllables and a 1 syllable word will do, I guarantee you it's better. It won't make you sound simple. It won't make you sound dumb. If a 5 syllables word is the correct word, well, then you got to use it. Verlin will tell you that. But a lot of times, it's for some other reason than what you want to say, what you really want to say. Okay, just a few. If it is possible to cut a word out, always cut it out. If it is possible to cut a word out of a sentence, always cut it out. Always. That, which, so. Cut it out. If you don't need it, cut it out. It's amazing what it does. These are like literal things. It's not like, well, you have to get in touch with this or you have to tap into that, Exactly. I know I'm like, you guys have great comments and I'm kind of like, on this train. But yes, exactly. You had a professor in grad school, Jill, that thought your writing was shit because you didn't use fancy language. Oh my God. You need to read this. I won't do it now, of course, but he gives you examples of idiotic academic writing that just goes on and on. And it's like, they're saying nothing. They just want to hear themselves. And this, of course, with the blah, 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 and the da-da-da-da. And it's just like, I mean, he just, the shade that Orwell throws toward these people, I mean, it is just fabulous. He's just like, don't come at me with that crap. It sucks. Never use, this is rule 5 out of 7, never use the passive where you can use the active. I had gone to the store. I went to the store. It's just, snipping these little things. It's almost like math, almost, with these particular rules. The other stuff, that's other stuff, inspiration, like whatever. That's a different conversation. But this is number 6 out of 7. Never use a foreign phrase, a scientific word, or a jargon word if you can think of an everyday English equivalent. I love this because it's like, in other words, cut the crap. Like, to say it was a mélange of this and that. Maybe mélange is the best word. Maybe it's actually the right word. But a lot of times it's like that the fancy language, It's like trying to sound smart, Well, this rendezvous is kind of a normal word. But, if you're using a foreign word or a scientific or jargon to try, if you've got an English word that is better, you will not ever regret using it. And the last, I swear to God, Orwell. Rule 7, break any of these rules sooner than say anything outright barbarous. So break them all, rather than say something like hateful or cruel or mean, or barbarous. See, barbarous, that's a longer word, but that's what he needed. That's the word he wanted. And the last bit is that he says, a scrupulous writer, in every sentence that he writes, or she writes, will ask herself at least 4 questions. Thus, what am I trying to say? What words will express it? What idiom or image will make it clearer? Is this image fresh enough to have an effect? And she will probably ask herself 2 more. Could I put it more shortly? And have I said anything that is avoidably ugly? And I just wanted to tell you, because we were talking about papers and writing, and like, it's just, when I think writing is hard, I go back here and I'm like, oh, it's not hard. It's really simple. Just put words down. Don't try too hard. I've taught writing at the University of Chicago. And for, who else have I taught for? No, I mean, neo-futurists, and I've taught classes, whatever. But, storytelling and comedy writing I've taught at the University of Chicago. And like, so many people wonder about style. They're like, well, I want to, what's my style? It's like, style takes care of itself. Style, like, it depends, like, what you choose to write about that's like half your style right there. If you're like, I'm gonna write about how I chased a bear away from our campsite. It was amazing. I was like the hero of the day. Like, already, like, we know something about you. It's funny, it's amazing, it's cool. Like, you chose to write about that. You did not choose to write about like snail migration, which is also totally awesome. But just the fact that you're writing about a certain thing is style. And so, like, don't worry about the words, don't worry about sounding like anybody else. Just make sentences. So, that's all. That's it. You got it, Kay, you got to buy them. They'll really read this one first, just because Orwell is talking a lot about England and all this stuff. And maybe read them whatever order. But I just wanted to tell you all that because I'm thinking about what I'm going to share with the kids, but I was also thinking about writing, and you people, writing. So, okay, that's all. Thank you for letting me go on that little train and do my silly This Day in History show. I'll see you on Thursday morning. I have a very cool list of content that is ready for Thursday already. So, you're the best. You're the best. You're the best. Wait, where are you? Geraldine, she's gonna close us out. Take care, everybody, and I will see you on Thursday. And that's it. That's all I got. Okay, bye, y'all.